Doing hood reporting again.
The vibe is not demure, but the ratings aren't inspiring confidence for the new era. After a splash of a promotional media campaign to build back the hype and create awareness for the arrival of its 9th season, the Real Housewives of Potomac finally landed its lighter and softer season. It's one that arrived with new additions Stacey, as well as friends of the cast Jazzy and familiar face Jacqueline. But while the show is in its attempt to move in a different direction away from the heavy path of irreconcilable differences that left the group divided on season 9, the ratings seems to suggest that people aren't tuning in as much to check out the spring petals swirling around the sparkling fruits. The numbers are in, and apparently RHOP season 9 premiered at just a little over 520k views, marking their lowest numbers since the show first aired on 17 January 2016. That's quite the disappointing debut for the show, which had reached 1 million viewers by its 6th season. It's not what you want to see right after Candice left the show, but it's too early to attach this shocking slump on her departure alone. Besides, we will be talking about the first showing post Candice, Robin, and to some extent Neka. Were there any improvements to the dynamics, vibes, storylines, and entertainment value, or did the cast shake-up not deliver on its promise?
Doing hood reporting again.
And for some context, season 8 arrived to some 720,000 views and peaked at 818 for part 2 of their reunion. And we know that's because of the explosive tensions between Giselle and Candice, for the most part, as their fallout dominated all the shock reactions for their reunion. Season 6 had premiered with over 1 million viewers, while season 7 started out at 792,000 and still peaked over 1 million views. Season 9 therefore has brought in the lowest numbers in the history of the show, and what really makes it particularly diabolical is the fact that 1, it's the premiere episode of a new season, and 2, it's a show that has now had a lot of cast changes. Unfortunately, it seems the new additions and new overall vibe aren't enough to court and attract new eyes, while also losing out big time on their existing audience. Although, to be quite fair, all the Housewives titles aren't really doing big numbers at the moment when it comes to live ratings on linear television. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City aren't getting as many eyeballs this season, despite it being fresh out the gate. And there are now rumors of the Real Housewives of Dubai being cancelled after disappointing ratings for season 2. And yet still, one can't help but wonder if the cast changes have now affected interest in the show. I mean, some people did talk about walking out after season 8. Starting out at 520,000 views could mean a further slump below 500 during the season. Shoo, you're in danger, girl. Karen and Mia Thornton are driving most of the scenes in the first episodes, which start out with a conversation between long-term frenemies Karen and Giselle. They're catching up when they start reflecting on Karen's ongoing case. I do love that they kicked off the season with a grown conversation between the show's main OG lineup. It anchored the rest of the episode, establishing familiarity before we meet the new girls and dive into the new atmosphere. It was, however, some funny business when the waiter suddenly chipped in to suggest that Karen never orders alcohol at that joint. Now the waiter is a character witness about how LaDame totally has her drinking under control, since she frequents that place and never orders anything strong, unlike the girls at the table behind Giselle. Love you, Karen, but why are you plotting with the waiters to sanitize her image in this whole DUI fiasco? And Giselle mentioned it. Karen is really hell-bent on sustaining this posh image of a sophisticated lady, and that's fine, but everyone makes mistakes, and I think it would have been more impactful and refreshing for Karen to just own up to her mistake and commit to doing much better. That's the whole point of reality shows, girl. She did, however, touch on the passing of her mother and father so soon after each other, and how that definitely drove her over the edge. Ashley has nothing new happening. Are we now into the 3rd or 4th season of her dragging out this Michael divorce storyline? The couple first announced their separation in April 2022, and every season has been about this with her. Girl, all is carrying on. Also, they were never married long enough for us to really have to deal with all of this for this long. On this episode, she's meeting up with her lawyer to chat about how this time she's taking this seriously. This time she really wants to go through with it because she really wants to start dating now. And that's the exact same storyline we've been hearing from Ash for some years now. How she's ready to be free and get out there, see what's out there for her. And that's okay. It's her journey and where she is right now. Although, to be quite fair, this back and forth, which does not really ever go forth, kinda does feel perceptions that walking away from Michael Darby's financial security is proving harder than she might have let on. And while Michael Darby is rumored to be worth over $20 million, there are some blind items claiming it's quite literally multiple that, like long money. There are other things, such as the children they share together. Ashley's divorce storyline is older and has not not been enough to keep her role on the show dynamic enough for me. Not the same can be said for Mia, who is airing out all her laundry and running this whole paternity dispute of her son on national television. And look, I do love nothing more than some organic reality on my reality shows, but this is quite a lot in my opinion. And when Giselle points out that Mia has not been protecting her kids during the split from Gordon, she breaks down and flees to the loo because how dare they mom shame her. I get that, but she's doing all of that while allowing doubt about her son's real father to literally drive her storyline. I don't know why I think this angle with Ink is a little irresponsible and a little tacky because of how it inevitably affect the boy at some point. But on the flip side, I guess this is Mia clocking in because both she and Gordon are needing the revenue streams to pick up at this point. Jacqueline jumped in the conversation, of course, and volunteered a hot take that Mia and Gordon had always been somewhat of a business arrangement. And as soon as the finances dried up, she jumped ship, it says here. But if the narrative were to fully depend on Mia's highly creative claims over time, it would have been that in actual fact, yes, the relationship was transactional, but at first, it's her that was finding his lifestyle. This is something she made known in season 8, episode 14. In a subsequent interview and Watch What Happens Live with Andy, Mia doubled down on these claims, tossing everyone further into confusion. She said, okay, there's a difference between cash and assets. So at that time, did I have more cash in the bank than Gordon did? Yes, abso-freaking-lutely, Mia. She's also said that the first time she hired a divorce attorney to leave him, he drained the joint bank account to zero as a tactic to stop her departure. Yo, that's quite alarming, girl. The couple did eventually split in June 2023, but they are still really not divorced as yet. But one thing's for sure, after the family downsized their entire lives, she upgraded her man. So, what is the truth, Mia? What is the truth, Ashley? Now that Robin and Juan are out of the picture, the spotlight is on you two. Comment down below, like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel. RHOP is back and it's not with a bang, at least not just yet. As an attempt to remedy some of the backlash from last season, which was haunted by unresolved tensions between the girls, they've gone a little demure and a little softer this season. To me, it was giving. The producers have gone back to basics to revive the fun, whimsical and light-hearted texture of the show in its first days. Stacey seems to fit right into that, and I'm kind of excited and curious as to what exactly she'll be bringing this season. She looks really good, and she clocked Karen just a little there when she said, "Oh, sorry that we are having champagne in front of you," hoping that's not a problem, that we are having an alcoholic beverage in front of you, which of course is a read based on Karen's DUI. And generally, it's quite clear that Karen's legal troubles and the arrest are going to produce a lot of the shade this season. But as she mentioned in recent interviews, she's got all of that under control. Overall, the first episode was just that, a first episode. Nothing much happened, except maybe to see Giselle's willingness to play ball and be more open to patching things up with Wendy. How did it feel without Candace? I've seen many people jump on the internet to say her absence was conspicuous. I have strong feelings about her not being on there, and the episode didn't help matters, but I think it's fair to let things play out a little bit more before we can really talk about how her departure has affected the show. The same can be said for Robin, seeing that this is the first season without her ever. Giselle has now been forced to be more flexible in how she navigates relationships in the group, and I think that will probably be the biggest impact of Robin's departure, if we're being honest. For the rest of the season, we're getting a preview of a far more united front among the girls as they are promoting a lighter and more cheerful season in the episodes to come. Will you be tuning in? Comment down below, like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching until the end. Until next time, bye.